So something inside here is true inside. Take it for granted. So it cannot be this saying, I don't want glimpses anymore. I don't want practices anymore. I only want the truth. Because if it is perfect, it is also without want. You follow or not? This is not some technical exercise. This is simply true. I don't want those things. I want the real thing. But the same one who says, I just want the real thing, tomorrow is climbing up some tree looking for something, other thing. It's not consistent. I have told often this account when I've been out and when I just went back to London just now, my same old phone is still in my room. And it's working the same old way. I come back, a little light flashing, ding, 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 means somebody's called. I press the middle button, you have 3 messages, I press and they go. The same example I gave. I came home, light is flashing some while ago. I press the button, someone is on the other side saying, Muji, please answer, please, Muji, answer. It's life or death, Muji, please answer, please, Muji. As soon as you get this message, please call me. My God. I look at it, it was already 2.5 hours ago. My God. Hello? Hello. Is whoever the name, Patrick is there? Yes, who is calling? It's Muji. Oh, Muji, it's Patrick. Ah. I said, Patrick, you say, call me 2 hours ago, no? They say life and death. Life or death. Oh, yeah, I was just having a little trouble. But I'm okay now. Hey, Muji, how's it going? How's satsang going? So this one, who is inclined to feel deep pain, and my life is, oh, please help me. Next minute, he's in McDonald's having an hamburger and Coca-Cola. Hey, what's going on? So it is not consistent. It's the same one who is saying, I am sick of understanding and doing self-inquiry. I don't want these glimpses of unconditional love anymore. If it was true, then any time I tried to get in touch with Daniela, is it you? Yes. Have you got it? I'm finished with all of this. It would not change if it was true. And it cannot be true because the one who speaks it I know is not true. Not yet. It's consciousness, but it is consciousness which is suffering from some amount of delusion by believing itself to be person and acting as person. The consciousness which is unmixed could not say this, could not write letter like this, cannot write letter like this. Now I want to know if you see this or not. And if by listening and seeing, you might have some insight into how your own consciousness is functioning when it is tied up with identity. How it might write a letter like this. It might even send it to Santa Claus, I don't know. So, again, a very, very strong letter. And I don't reject this letter. I am very much, these letters are the things that come out in satsang. Why are we reading these letters? Because so many people can say, yes, I could write this letter myself. Actually. I feel like this sometimes. I'm feeling like this right now. You see? And so it is a very, very powerful introspection to look into it, what I'm saying right now. Say, this one, you see, who is this one? Someone might be saying, well, Muji, just answer. Look, the person is suffering. Give them. I said, no, who is this one? Who is this one? Is it the true one? The true one cannot ask this question. But maybe you feel, I am not yet the true one. I'm on the way to become the true one. Which is okay too, up to a point. Beloved Master, by now I have had many experiences of oneness. However, they do not last. May I ask a favor of your grace? Could you please seat me in your heart so I remain as you forever? Humbly at your feet, Vilma. It's a different kind of letter. A more humble letter. And not even demanding even. Sometimes if you approach even God, with a demand, and it comes from a sincere place, you are compelled to receive your answer actually. Because people have different way of relating to the Supreme. By now, I have had many experiences of oneness. You have experiences, and then you feel, sometimes your first experience of oneness, you feel invincible. Yeah, I've done it. You feel I've done something. You see? And then, I've not done it. Oh my gosh, it's gone. And again another one come and yes. I'm on Mount Olympus. And it goes. Maybe that's what was, in a way, generating the frustration in the other letter. I don't want any more experiences which are just coming and going. This is good. Because there was a time when I was relying upon these experiences to be permanent. Could they be permanent? Could my experience be permanent if I am not permanent? Your question? Huh? Can I have a permanent experience if I am not permanent? Who gets it? Thank you. You see? So this is why I ask you, who are you? You must yourself expose, or you must somehow establish your identity. Who are you who is speaking this? And very few people will question you see. But I know the smell of this. It is not yet you. The real you, the real self, is not perplexed. It knows all of this is just a dream. And no matter how strong the dream is, it cannot overwhelm the one who sees. By now I have had many experiences of oneness. However, they do not last. This is a significant thing. All experiences have a beginning and an end. So they are bound in time. So they come and go. So is there something called the experience of the self which is continuous? Yes, but it's not a person's experience. Because the person itself is not unbroken, the person is not continuous, the person is not eternal. May I ask a favor of your grace? Could you please seat me in your heart so I remain as you? I remember something, one of our dear ones in India, Amma Kalyani, she said one day, Muji, where does my mind fly to in your presence? Show me where it is hiding so I can hide it there forever. Why she said this? Because somehow she found in satsang, she could not find her mind. The mind have no courage to be in the satsang. She says, yes. Then I am relieved. Please, show me where my mind is hiding so it can stay there forever. Let him hide it on mind. Humbly at your feet, Vilma. Something about this letter. Something about this letter. I want to tell you something what happened because generally speaking, they're said to be several paths, many paths. In fact, the three great rivers you can say is Bhakti Yoga, which is the path of devotion and surrender and so on. Bhakti Yoga, that's suited to those who have a devotional temperament, who believe in God and feel this naturally to surrender and to ask for absorption in the presence. Then there is Jnana Yoga, which is the wisdom path. That is more suited to those of a more philosophical temperament, people who are thinkers and that is what I'm sharing also here. And then there's Karma Yoga, the path of action, those who believe in selfless service, that just doing what feels right for the betterment of mankind, but don't want any personal reward out of it. That is, these are the three big rivers. But each life has its own Dharma. It's like some unique way in which the self steps back into its own center, like that. Now, normally the people who are drawn to the path of devotion and surrender, they don't usually hang out with the people who are more the jnana yogis, which are much more philosophical and a little bit more proud, a bit more ego, even sometimes like that. See, they don't mix, but somehow in our satsangs they mix like that, or they're sitting together, or in the same room. Let's say like this. Now, some devotees of a certain traditional Indian master used to come and see me in India, in the south of India. A very beautiful master, Sri Nanagaru, but his very traditional way. So women sit here, men sit there, and they don't cannot mix. And these devotees, they like to be with me because maybe I feel more approachable or something. They could talk to me and I could touch them, and it was like this, no? So they would come. The amazing thing is that I would talk with them of Jnana Yoga. These are devotees, devotional beings. Yeah? We talk with them of Jnana Yoga, this what I'm talking now, self-inquiry and pointing things out. And they were so impacted upon by this pointing of Jnana Yoga that they were, whoa, you could feel it like this. And like this, they were catching it. Like this, they were kind of just falling into the state of pure unity, like that. Why? When many Jnana yogis, the philosophical ones, were struggling because they had more ego. The devotional ones had very little ego. You see? So their egos didn't interfere with their absorption. As soon as they heard something true, their heart could not help from somehow embracing it. This was the power of the Bhakti Yoga. You see? And so, beloved Guruji, this is another one. Words cannot begin to express the gratitude and love I feel for you in my heart. Your extraordinary patience, your endless kindness, your sweet heart, your presence and great wisdom is profoundly humbling and burning through every illusion in my being and bringing me right back home to the peace and joy of pure being. I love you, Muji. Thank you. In deep devotion, with my head at your feet, Shion, Shion, from Wales. How you say? Sean. Sean from Wales. Very good. And dearly beloved Muji, after attending the beautiful London Intensive, much joy, peace, and happiness. Now, an intense emotional pain with no real story. It seems like it's a good thing. It feels like an opening in my belly to something deep and wonderful. Sadness and silence seems to want sadness and silence seems to be what it wants. Any comment would be greatly loved. Devotion to you and your team, Connie from the USA. So after attending the London Intensive, there's much joy and peace. Happiness is there also. Now an intense emotional pain with no real story. So you can imagine some strong pain is shaking inside the body, but there's no story about it. It doesn't come with a story. It seems like it's a good thing. Normally people feel something is wrong, but there's an intuition there that says it seems like a good thing. This pain seems like a good thing. It feels like an opening in my belly to something deep and wonderful. Only your intuition is telling you this, that somehow it is okay. Because many times people come to satsang and then, some strong reactions take place. Sometimes physiological signs, or maybe, emotional or psychic or whatever. They feel pain and some people, I'm going to die and all this type of stuff. I said, don't worry, I don't think you're going to die simply because you're discovering the truth. And then they go to doctor and they have the doctors take lots of tests on them. Nothing wrong. It's all up there. The mind is trying to get you to panic. Don't go there, something wrong is going to happen. So you have to hear these things and you pass through them. So here this one is saying that I have these feelings, these sensations occur, but I still feel there's something beautiful, something wonderful, and beautiful is about to happen. Sadness and silence seems to be what it wants. So even this pain, this sadness, seems like it will be satisfied with silence and even sadness and silence. Any comment would be greatly loved. I would not go too much into the, any kind of feeling of accuracies here. These things happen very often. They are not so uncommon that as soon as your mind is turned towards truth, then it's like a kind of battle, a kind of friction take place inside. Something is moving towards expansiveness and something is moving towards contraction. You can experience both, like a pulse like this. I say don't identify with either of them. Stay in the space of neutrality where you're only just witnessing, but not identifying. In the beginning, it may not seem to be so easy because the attention is so powerfully being pulled, almost like a reflex to go to where the throb is. So you stay in that place, keep quiet, and you don't have to hide under the bed. You just keep quiet, and that whatever is happening, let it happen. Don't label it, oh, something terrible is happening, and the mind is creating this. Just let it be. When I say give your existence to existence, it's a kind of an invitation to let go, and let the experiences open up, and you stay as only the witness of it. Then you come to see that the witness itself is formless. Like it is not an object, it's not even a person. It's just these things are experienced, they have a beginning and an end. It's a very important thing to recognize. Dear Muji, my girlfriend and I had the grace to be able to attend the London retreat via internet. And we were able to follow your guidance into the blissful emptiness of consciousness. Our relationship is benefiting tremendously from all this silence. Old habits or reflexes still pop up from time to time, but our attention quickly goes back inside, and without any person to latch onto, the wind simply blows through. Infinite gratitude for all that you are. You are forever in our hearts. Grace willing, we would love to sit at your feet in satsang in Zimar. With much love, Bird and Tom. Somebody's name, Bird. Nice name. Huh? Bird and Tom. And this is wonderful because a couple together share in the same intensive and following the pointing, and each is coming back to that unique place inside. They have come to see that, to feel and to experience and to see that stable blissfulness within themselves. And at the end of it, they have not separated, oh, there's only one. No, they are still, they said the relationship itself has benefited also. And it's happy to read it like that, you see, that even so, our relationship is benefiting tremendously from all of this silence. When a couple can experience silence together, can move in silence together, without taping their mouths, just enjoy and feel that silence is a beautiful thing. No? You're really allowing yourself to not drown out each other with their own personal noise, but to really lose your differences even. They go. You've discovered this this harmony. Old habits or reflexes still pop up from time to time. Yes, of course, some old nonsense come from time to time like this. But our attention quickly goes back inside. And without any person to latch onto, the attention goes back inside, not to be with a person, but to be with the being. So what a beautiful testimony. The wind simply blows through. I mean, the wind, storm, anything is blowing through. One time I used this expression, your life without personal identity. All your actions become like writing on water. Writing on water is immediate. You cannot read it in 5 seconds later. You cannot put a bookmark there. Everything is fresh. It doesn't dwell in the past nor upon the idea of future. That is spontaneity and that is freshness. They are experiencing this also. Infinite gratitude for all that you are. Forever in our hearts. Very wonderful, Bird and Tom. Hello, I am Julia. I live alone with my 2 sons, 2 boys 9 and 6 years old, since 3 years, and the father has almost no contact with them. I'm the only responsible one. I'm the only responsible on every level of our existence. So helps me God. So this person, mother, feels very fragile and has a very strong presence in the family and is in power in the family. When I observe, when I listen to you, when I go into self-inquiry, it feels free, joy, space. It feels there before the body. But when I interact again with the boys, I am again this personal mother, very strongly, which is not free, which is afraid and controlling. You see? This damages my relationship with my sons, and also our being together and their being. My highest wish is that this persona is not there and nevertheless to be here for them. I am in a big fight for the moment. Namaste, Julia. It's a very beautiful letter, isn't it? Is freedom exclusively for the single people? Is it exclusively for vegetarians? Is it exclusively for Christians or Muslims or Buddhists? Is it exclusively for anybody? Is it more likely that you will wake up because you are on your own, or you have just ended a relationship? Many people, when they end a relationship, they're ready for freedom. And are you more likely to discover like that? No? Well, I say no, because I remember the story in the Bhagavad Gita, which is a very famous book in Sanskrit book in Indian spiritual, people say mythology, but spiritual history. The story that Lord Krishna, who was the guru of Arjuna, and it so happens that Arjuna was a great warrior, but somehow he found that he was leading an army who is about to fight another army, but this other army had many people in it that he loved and respected, and he knew them. And so the battlefield is there, and the two armies are coming closer and closer and closer, okay? And can you imagine a more stressful time like this? And all the horses are fired up. People are fired, all the holding onto the swords and the bow arrow, fire in the hand and everything like that. Can you imagine a more stressful time? Yeah? And yet, right then, Lord Krishna had satsang with Arjuna. I often say, Krishna did not say, look, Arjuna, I would like to have satsang with you, but not now. It's too stressful now. It's too strenuous now. If we survive. You see? We will go to some place in Goa. We'll have some fresh coconuts and some idlis, and then I will tell you the supreme truth. No, I didn't say that. In the most stressful moment a human being can imagine, Lord Krishna sat down and spoke with Arjuna about the deep truths of existence and about what his true nature is in this moment. And I have found that has been so inspiring, because very often we feel, I can't cope. You know, I'm too busy. The life is too demanding. I can't focus on freedom right now. I have to wait until I find some space to be able to give to silence. But Krishna was saying, no, you must find your silence right here in the midst of this battle. You must find it. And I love that account, because it shows that our minds make excuses, like there's a better time to be. There's a better time to be when it's quiet and you can light your incense. This is the time to be, man. No, he said no. Every time, every moment is your being. Takes place in your being. You are there before moments. You are there before conflict. You are there before beginnings and endings. You observe them. Yeah. Be self-aware. So that's what's the calling, you see. Very good. Dearest Master, while watching a video of Papaji, in an instant, the me disappeared and laughing, existed in a luminous, energetic world of perfect peace and serenity. And then I found you. Aware that God is everything, this body and everything around this body, a thought comes, if everything is God, then it is easy to surrender to God, because everything is God. Then who am I? Is it God surrendering to God? Well, why not? Let me finish the letter. Waking in the night in the darshan of Anandamayi Ma, I am love, I am bliss. Dearest Muji, I feel as a pendulum swinging from the heights of heaven to the depths of hell. Please establish this being in permanent enlightenment. Humbly, I bow at your lotus feet. Linda in San Francisco, California. So while watching Papa G, a video of Papa G, in one instant, me, a person, disappeared, and what laughing is happening. And this laughing exists in a luminous, energetic world of perfect peace and serenity. Then I found you, aware that God is everything, this body and everything around this body. A thought comes, if everything is God, then it's easy to surrender to God because everything is God. Then who am I? Waking in the night, in the darshan of Ananda Mahima, I am love, I am bliss. Dearest Muji, I feel as a pendulum swinging from the heights of heaven to the depths of hell. Please establish this being in permanent enlightenment. Now let's imagine that there's a pendulum swinging one way into heaven. Oh, hallelujah, praise the Lord. And all the way into hell. Oh my God, I'm finished. Oh, hallelujah. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. Oh my God, I'm finished. Okay, so both extremes, no? Then witnessing of this pendulum is also present, but we are not aware of it because we are so fixated on storytelling. The nature of the mind is to tell what it perceives is happening. You see, the swinging is happening. Hallelujah, praise the heavens and the holy angels. And down here, oh my God, I'm finished for good. Okay? What is watching both swinging? Is that on a pendulum, that which watches the pendulum swinging? You must find who watches it. And then see if there's this need, please establish this being in permanent enlightenment. If this question, this request is there, if you know what is watching the oscillation between heaven and... Don't identify with the oscillation. If you identify, you feel you are in the pendulum. And here we go, oh, so wonderful. Let me hug the Lord. Ooh. And the devil has got you. And ooh. Can it be simple like that? Yes. You see, all of this is due to identifying with circumstances, identifying with phenomena. When I say phenomena, you must determine, am I also a phenomenon? If I am witnessing phenomena, then you must find out, am I also phenomenal? Is it a phenomenal I witnessing a phenomenal world? Then you may say, yes, but then what witnesses both the phenomenal I and its phenomenal world? And verbal, mental, intellectual answers will not do. You will know, because when you say them, don't feel like nothing. You give the greatest answer, oh, it's the supreme Lord of the universe. Yeah, and so what? It doesn't have any power. You have to see it inside. You have to see it with the light of your own consciousness, not with the mind. Namaste, Master. Please, let's be two. Thus I can give thanks to you and feel the mind melting away when your holy voice is heard. But staying as two, the one who feels complete and without needs will soon feel incomplete and needy. So, please let us be one. Thus I can be itself, by itself, in itself, and for itself. But even in that great joy, I feel like something additional, like an I density. So, please let us be nothing. Thus, there is nothing to say. Forever at your feet. Nice. Huh? Very good. Very good. Good morning. I am I am writing this because last night I felt in my heart that I should contact you. Since the retreat, my life is not the same. I have problems to sleep, my marriage is unstable, my husband and I almost broke up, and even when I try to pray or do meditation, I cannot. My body is so strange. I feel the energy pushing back. I feel tired. I have no desire to do anything. What a retreat. It seems that I just want to give up. Nothing makes me happy anymore. Is this the ego trying to control? The mind is driving me crazy. At the moment, with ideas about my husband cheating on me. He lives in another city. Everything seems out of place. I have tried to make peace, stop, calm down, but it's difficult to not hear the mind. Please, would you help me? With gratitude, Carla Brandio. Brandio, Branda, with this thing. Oh, it's Portuguese? Brando. You know her? Okay. So, because I'm writing this because last night I felt in my heart that I should contact you. Since the retreat, my life is not the same. I have problems to sleep. My marriage is unstable. My husband and I almost broke up. Even when I try to pray or do meditation, I cannot do it. Did all this start after intensive? Like everything was wonderful before. I want to know. Yeah? Or is it that it was hush hush, and now after intensive something is exploding, and like this, things are coming out that you're not anymore too nice to suppress anything maybe. But I don't know. My body is so strange. I feel the energy pushing back. I feel tired. I have no desire to do anything. You see? Doesn't sound nice, does it? But let's carry on. It seems that I just want to give up. Nothing makes me happy anymore. You see, I am listening to this. I don't feel sorry at all for this person. You see? What I see is something wants to be cleansed. Something wants to be clean. It maybe have been enduring a lot of things that don't feel right. No? After the retreat, it seems, my God, it was terrible. You should not have gone to this retreat. Some people may say to Carla, you should not have gone to, what you go to this retreat and now the person, this bearded man has screwed you up and everything like that. But you have to also recognize sometimes there's a healing in sickness. Sickness is we have a taboo about sickness. So if you feel sick, oh, try and stop it. But sometimes sickness is a healing also. Sometimes these things is a sort of setting free of something. I think we're old enough to know that this is like that. Something is kind of burping out, like I can't stand anymore. Something, you see. Is this ego trying to control? The mind is driving me crazy. The mind is crazy. Why you put yourself in it? Why you say the mind is driving me crazy? You have to find out who this you. If this you is the true, this you is some kind of hybrid. It doesn't exist. It's something that is the consciousness living in the notion of being a person. And it can't bear it, in fact. It's been trying to make the person a success story. And it's not working. It's blowing up in the face now. Look at that. The mind is driving me crazy at the moment with ideas about my husband cheating on me. He lives in a... He's going to try everything now. In a way, it's like everything now. It's almost like the mind itself is not your friend right now. It's doing everything to get you to go back and be a sheep. Because why? You start to roar like a lion. Before you were meh. Now you start to so, no. They'll try everything to get you back to being Miss Sheep. And fear is the other way. Jealousy, envy, threat, insecurities are the way to get you to be a sheep again. Something wants to come out. Everything seems out of place. Why? Because when they were in place, they were no good. It wasn't the place that God put them. Your mind put them in some place and they were not working. And so somehow your power is coming and your power is saying, no, there's a life more than this. The retreat did not give you this bad state. The retreat is flushing it out. You see? Before the retreat, you couldn't write letter like this. As a result of the retreat, you are empowered enough to start to see, wait, things are not right in my life, whether it is a workplace or family life or something. And you must begin to trust this. Don't say, oh, what am I going to do? No, you have not been doing anything actually. You begin to see and you keep quiet and you trust and you say, wait a minute, this is a good thing. First you have to acknowledge this is actually a good thing. I don't know where it's going, but I have an intuition that this is not a bad thing. We are too quick to think negatively. This is a bad thing. Everything in your life has been a blessing. Even painful things. If you use your mind properly. Even one actor, what was his name? I used to call his name, he's a famous guy. John Wayne. John Wayne is cowboy actor. But he say, life is difficult, but it's more difficult if you're stupid. Isn't it? For a regular guy, that's not a bad thing to say. Meaning that the life may be challenging, but if you're a stupid person, you'll always be blaming and complaining. But a smart one will not do that. They will look and say, wait a minute. If this didn't happen, this wouldn't happen. If all the things that happen in your life did not happen, you would not be here right now also. Unless you're regretting this as well. Now, I have tried to make peace, stop, calm down, but it's difficult to not hear the mind. Please, would you help me? I think it's about time I give this thing that I've noticed. I was in London recently. I've been sharing with some of the people from Sahaj about this. I was watching a program on television, and it was called like Embarrassing Bodies or something. I like this type of thing. We watched it. And anyway, that's not so significant. But I'm watching this program on television, and then I noticed that there was somebody in the corner of the television doing sign language and this and explaining what is going for the people who can't hear, no? And they do these wonderful things in England like that, this consciousness about making sure that everybody can participate. But there's a figure in the side of the television screen, and they're talking like this and doing this and so at first I kept seeing this figure, getting very annoyed with this figure. So this figure said, I don't want to see this figure, this guy. And he looks very big and he's speaking like this and this and I'm looking like that. But as I got into the program, Then I was very much in the program. I very much enjoyed the program. And for about half an hour, when they were going into a break, I noticed I hadn't seen this figure at all. I didn't see he's not moved. It's not like I spray painted him out or something. He's same in there going, but I did not see the guy. How it can happen like that? Why? Because I was not interested enough. I was more interested in this thing. And when I'm more interested in this thing, I don't see this thing. When you are so interested in the self, you will not see the world in the way that your mind see it. You understand this? You understand what I said about the guy on the screen? It is enough. When you are, in fact, this is the truth on a daily level, because you're walking in many places, maybe you're in Odemira or you're in some place with lots of people, and many things, most things you don't see, you don't take it in at all. You can say at a physical level, in some level, it must be seen, but it's not registering, because what? You have no interest. Suppose everything you see, you had to remember. Can you imagine how horrible? Everything you hear, you remembered. Everything you smell, you remember. Everything you touch, you remember. Every time somebody touch you, you remember. Every time, every thought comes, you remember. Then how long you would last? You would not last. And yet you can move in an environment where surrounded by, you can go to Disneyland, walk about, and come away from it completely untouched. Inside your heart is, why are you laughing? Your heart is completely in a state of total serenity, no? Why is it like that? And this is normal every day, like this is like this. So why should it be different with your mind about this? What you write about here is the things that kind of matter to your mind. You see? If it doesn't matter to you, it doesn't record, it doesn't register at all. And so effectively, it's not your experience. Isn't it amazing that the consciousness is so amazing that it is filtering out the things which are of no importance to you. And you don't have to transcend something that you have no interest in. So when you write about the things that your mind believes is important. And these are the things, you see. All this stuff is coming up, all this stuff. I can't sleep, my marriage is unstable, my husband and I almost broke up. When I try to pray and do meditation, I cannot, because why? You're trying to do meditation now as a painkiller. You see? You're not really going to say meditate. Now the house is on fire, you're trying to meditate, you can't meditate. No. Let the house be on fire. Let everything be on fire. You keep quiet and you simply just observe. Just observe. And keep quiet and see what happens. Something every human being is missing is going to come down to you. My body is so strange. I feel energy pushing like I feel tired. I have no desire to do anything. Don't panic. Don't panic. You are experiencing a tsunami of personal existence, but it will soon pass. Don't be waiting for it to pass. Find out who you are, even in its presence. You can do. It seems that I want to give up. Nothing makes me happy anymore. These are just emotional states. See, this reaction is coming now. You're fed up. I don't want to give up. So this is an emotional state. This, no? Is it my ego trying to control? My mind is driving me crazy at the moment with ideas about my husband cheating on me. He lives in another city. Everything seems out of place. I've tried to make peace, to stop, to calm down, but it's difficult to not hear the mind. Please, would you help me? Don't try and save yourself. Keep quiet. step into this fire. Keep quiet. Don't identify. See what happened. Because if you believe your mind reaction, it wants to send you to the madhouse. But you are not mad. In fact, for the first time, you are becoming sane. You follow? But you have to go through the furnace of your own introspection to feel the fire of your own seeing. Can you bear this fire? It will soon be calm. Dear Muji, I always wanted to be loved, especially by my partner, and I've always been disappointed. I'm aware of this impossible request, but this desire, illusion, has been there for so long and it is so strong that I do not feel able to uproot. It is as if without the realization of this desire, I can't be totally happy and I do not know the reason of my life. I had seen a Papaji video about one woman request, "Why am I born?" And something in me recognized the same dead end. One day, life made me the gift of showing me what I was looking for. It is in me. It was my heart that I wanted. This experience lasted only a few minutes, but the taste is unforgettable. It remains a memory. I want and I need to connect with my heart and to be free, definitely, to the desire to be loved, to be free of the desire to be loved. Please help me with eternal gratitude and love. Alice in Switzerland. I was going to say Wonderland. Oh, sorry. Alice in Switzerland. Yeah. So I've always wanted to be loved, especially by my partner, and I've always been disappointed. Of course, you want something, then you spend a lot of energy. And especially the more you want, it seems to go away from you, isn't it? The more you want something, the person is going away from you, and you think, "Why are you leaving me?" But it's not them; it's consciousness is playing. You see? I'm aware of this impossible request, but this desire illusion has been there for so long and it is so strong that I do not feel able to uproot it. It is as if without the realization of this desire, meaning, I guess you mean, it is as if without the fulfillment of this desire, I can't be totally happy, and I do not know the reason of my life. What misunderstanding, what misconception, you see. That the feeling, the need to be loved by a particular person is so strong that, like, if it's not there, it's like you don't know the meaning of your life, you see. So this is a phase you have to get over it, isn't it? Because even if you could have this person and everything, you would see that that's not what you're searching for. You cannot want somebody so much, want so much. It's too much for a person to be wanted. You see, for 2 or 3 weeks it's okay. But after a while you become a pest. They want to get away because they can't cope with it. The ego cannot cope with so much affection, so much love. It's stifling. You see? I had seen a Papaji video about one woman request, "Why am I born?" And something in me recognized the same dead end. One day, life made me a gift of showing me that what I was looking for, it is in me. It was my heart that I wanted. And many people, they experience. Also myself, in my early days, I was painting, always painting. And paint quick, making a lot of painting. I was searching for something ultimate, like an ultimate painting. Paint, paint, paint. I was really satisfied with any of my paintings. Paint, 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 paint. Because I was looking for something quite unreasonable as far as paint is concerned. I wanted, then at one time I had a dream that I had made the perfect painting, but somehow this painting was moving all the time. Because if it was still, it can't, it's, I always, no, no, it's not the perfect painting. You see? Then I was studying martial arts for many years also. Then also I'm trying many things. I was attracted to those practitioners of martial arts who did not have a fixed thing. And they were always searching for something, like Bruce Lee or something, trying to create something to try and synthesize all they learn into something. And this kind of attracted. No? Couldn't get satisfaction. No? Then only when this opening took place inside, it happened like that. I saw, this is what I'm searching for. I didn't consciously know. And then everything sort of dropped out like this. Life gave a gift to me by showing me what I was looking for. It is in me. It was my heart that I wanted. This is the play of life, and everyone is in role. The consciousness is playing all these roles as the seeker, as the finder, as the obsessed one. It's consciousness playing all this in the theater of consciousness. It's playing all these different roles. It's also playing this role called it is my heart that I want. Because the heart is what you are. Not this thing, not this. But the heart meaning the source, the pure being. The consciousness create this drama to give itself somehow the drug of forgetfulness and confusion, and then to create lots of little things to whet the appetite to go searching for the thing which is only itself. And this experience that I had lasted only a few minutes, but the taste is unforgettable. As soon as you again touch base in yourself, yeah, you know it's not a myth, you know it is not some kind of fantasy, you know it is. Yeah, even if you have the sense of losing it, this you, which is consciousness also, waking up to the fact that this exists. It's still a duality, but now it's burning off its duality. You see? It remains a memory. I want and I need to connect with my heart and to be free, definitely. To be free of the desire to be loved. To really be free of the need to be loved. You see? Some people, they feel if they don't feel loved, then there's no point to be here. No point. You don't have to run around looking for love. You must first find you, and love will reveal itself. You can't just find somebody to complete you, like you're a half and they're a half. That's cheating. That's not. You're not half. Or like half a sandwich or something. How you can be half? But we hold on to these ideas and somehow fantasize about them. Okay. I think we are nearly there now. Beloved Muji, my sister confessed to me yesterday that she has been suicidal for many years now. She speaks of death as a path to peace and end of pain. I didn't know, and this news came as a shock for me. I am listening to her pain, and your words come to me, that this pain is not who she is. I feel such a sadness that she cannot see this. Then a thousand of thoughts come what to do to help. I see my desperation to convey in a way or another your words to her, and I also see that this message does not reach her. No? There is pain and anger coming also in me. Tears are rolling down my face, and there is also a sense of peace, detachment, and understanding that her life is not in my hands. It's crazy. They are all in the same place. Love, anger, anxiety, moving. Then peace and love again. Is this it? What else can I do? I feel blessed to have found you, and I pray that she also finds support. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Prana. All these letters is about us, no? It's our letters, no? Wherever you write them from, whichever part of the world you are. You see, the one heart knows them. We know each other. This is why it is good to be in this environment where human beings are opening up their hearts and they're opening up their feelings and saying, I feel like this. I feel like this. Am I such a stranger to you? I feel like this, you see. And when we listen to this, listen to this and don't get depressed. Because someone in London, when she came to the retreat, at first time to the retreat, she says, oh my God, these people are so sad. I said, actually, these people's sadness is higher than your joy. You see? Because they already are beyond, they're not sad about boyfriend and girlfriend and a car and losing their job, not having money. They're sad that they want to come out of the limitation of personhood. That's a much higher form of sadness. This sadness is going to lead you to freedom, not to the next relationship, the next thing. This is a higher form, yeah, that is. So, my sister confessed to me yesterday that she has been suicidal for many years now. So she didn't do anything, no? Many years suicidal. She confessed, which means that something, she's opening up, talking about it. But if you're really suicidal, you go do it, no? So he's saying that I have these feelings, and many people have these. I've discovered, actually, it's one of the modern sicknesses. Oh, I don't know. And I feel that one of the modern sicknesses is a lack of inner space. The lack of really feeling the inner space of yourself. Like your whole being become suffering from claustrophobia. Too much thinking, too much everything. She speaks of death as a path to peace and end of pain. It appears like that through the mind. I didn't know, and this news came as a shock for me. I'm listening to her pain, and your words come to me, that this pain is not who she is. Yeah. And just like you are here, you start to feel some chest pain. Then it comes really loud. You breathe, and then it goes. The pain is there, you feel it, but you know it's not you. You take something for it, it goes, you know it's not you. You feel emotional pain, and this thing, and the mind makes a story about it, but you know this pain is not you. I feel such a sadness that she cannot see this. Then thousands of thoughts come and what to do to help. I see my desperation to convey in a way or another your words to her. And I also see that this message does not reach her. You're trying so hard. You panic. When you panic, you can't convey. You see. You have to be in your stillness. You have to be guided by your own stillness, not by your fear, not by your anxiety, not by panic. When you try to communicate through anxiety and fear, you communicate anxiety and fear. You understand? Doesn't matter you try smiling over it. It just seems even more strange. Trying to reassure somebody to be peaceful when you're completely a wreck yourself. So what to do? Then you have to stay inside your peace. Stay in yourself. Don't get pulled into anyone else's energy so much. Stay in your own center. Stay one with yourself. It's not selfish, because only in your oneness can you really be in an environment and not be pulled into two-ness. A sage has no fear of even going into hell, because it knows it cannot divide what they are. You see? I see my desperation to convey in a way or other your words to her, and I see that this message does not reach her. So you see? There is pain and anger coming also in me. Tears are rolling down my face, and there is also a sense of peace at the same time coming. You see? Stay with the peace, detachment, and understanding that her life is not in my hands. That's the kind of acceptance. Because we have strong attachment to the people who we love. No? And then somehow you get too involved, you lose your space, you almost suffocate your wisdom, because you start to act out of anxiety and out of panic. And it is not easy for me to say, but somehow in the moment something panics. But the one who has become accustomed to observing finds that there's another space always. There's a deeper space. A space comes, and in that space, I can't tell you what is there. You will know it, you know. Inside the space, a reassurance that you are not really alone in that kind of way, that all of life is here in this moment also. You see? It's crazy. They are all in the same place. Love, anger, anxiety, moving. All of this seems like it's one soup. Anger, fear, anxiety, peace, joy, all together there, no? And then peace and love again comes. Is this it? What else can I do? Keep quiet. If you have nothing useful to say, keep quiet. Don't try to be helpful. Don't try to be useful. When someone is in a very highly sensitized state, they can see your ridiculousness when you try to do something, or you always say inappropriate words or do something. Better you just keep quiet. Then they will find you when they need you. You see? Already you say, my sister confessed to me. Did you make her confess, or she came and said, I need to talk to you? This is an important thing. If she's already come, then already a path is open, because you can talk. But you must control your own panics. You must observe them. Not suppress, but you have to be aware of your own, that perhaps you're in a weaker state than she also. You ever thought of this? That you may be in a weaker state. Maybe she's much more aware of her suicidal states, but you are not aware of your own kind of panic states. And you're much more shuffled up than she is even. You see? So while you're busy looking for her help, maybe you're the one who needs help also. It's time to be quiet and to go by yourself for a bit and sit with this, and don't go with a panic mind. Be aware of it. Don't put so much energy to try and control or manipulate your mind, but somehow see that this is also perceived, and all these other things are perceived. And stay in this place of neutrality. It's already there. This neutrality is there already. Okay? Final one is there. Beloved Muji, sometimes I feel very much disidentified with my body and with the characters that appear in front of me. I can watch all this and do not attach or link myself to it. peace, relief, and a pleasant energy in my body are present. And sometimes I completely fall into my body again. When it happens, I try to remain watching this somehow neutrally. Even at these moments, I know I am not my body, but even looking or observing my body with the conscience that I cannot be this object, but the subject, does not help very much. It's like I'm totally merged with it, and the sense of identification remains stronger. I feel that it is because I am somehow attached, maybe unconsciously, with some character that brings me into the body. You shouldn't have to think so much. We think too much. We think too much. You try to think your way out of trouble, but you think your way into trouble. Nobody tells you keep quiet. Why don't you just keep quiet? You try, we should have known this thing and want to know if it's this thing or this. And if somebody tell you, you still can't absorb what they're telling you because you're so loud inside your own mind. There's a crowd. There's only you, but in your head there's a crowd of too much thinking about it, you see. So it has to be pointed out, and maybe you see it and, oh, wow, I don't have to go there, no? I feel that because I'm somehow attached, maybe unconsciously, with some character that brings me to the body. Now every time I experience this fall, I find myself trying to do something to promote the disidentification again. I watch, inquire, stay neutral, pray. And somehow I sense that here is the mistake. This effort or intention brings tension and an attachment with the doer and also with the tension itself. It's like somehow I create and maintain someone or something to be a watcher, the inquirer, the neutral, or the prayer. And I think that is precisely this one thing that later brings me to the identification again and again. I want to get rid of all these things, Master. I just want to be myself, my true self. Stay as my true nature, fresh and free, not identified with anything. What am I doing wrong? I love you in deep gratitude, Encore. So even reading the letter, you see, it's heavy. It's heavy. And sometimes we are speaking and you think you're trying to make sense of life and you're getting somewhere and you don't sense your heaviness. You're carrying the mind is heavy and there's no answer for it. The answer for it, keep quiet. You see? But it's the habit to try and figure life out is such a reflex that quick, some energy goes there and you start to scratch about like a dog digging in the ground. And then can you hear this advice? Stop. Stop. And no, stop. Yeah, and then what? No, stop. It's like you are on heat. And it says stop. And it takes a while for all your excited processes to slow down again. Sometimes in meditation and part of sort of practicing mantras and sort of guided meditations, listening to bhajans, reading scriptures, praying, is to slow down this excited energy. So let it just calm down. At a certain point, it seems to just reach some kind of cosmic plateau. When you reach this bit, then you find you understand intuitively what needs to be understood. Up here, no, you're still too wired. Push. And when people speak to you, nothing can go in. There's no space. When you observe more and more, then the observing habit, exercise, help you to recognize how to just let go of trying to figure life out. Nobody can figure life out. Nobody has done it. It's not necessary. It's not possible also. Because life is not an object, it's not a thing. It is always like an amoeba, it's always changing shape. And the one who is trying to figure it out is also changing shape. The most you can come into some kind of synchronicity. In the same way I tell you to keep quiet. Don't move the mind, don't move the attention. Just relax, just learn to be empty. You see? Because when this advice comes to just stay neutral, be empty, something wants to, it's like athlete's foot mind. Wants to scratch, good scratch, good scratch, you know? But I say just observe that and stay in the neutrality. And it takes a while to calm down because it's very excited, the energy. Very excited. And some people are living in this excited energy every day. Excited energy. So you try to pull the plug and it's still excited energy. The plug is pulled, the water is gone, with excited energy. That is. But so that's it. Are you full or empty? Or is it same thing? You don't always have to know where you're going next. You don't need to know all these things. This is bad education. I tell you, the sages who we read about so much, they don't know anything in the way that we think. You think like people think that Buddha is an expert meditator. Or that he's always in touch with himself. These things are not true. It's nothing like that. There's no one thing to be in touch with another thing. They simply come to the realization of that. I am just this. But what about your personality? It's a rumor. It's a rumor. How do you maintain your peace, Buddha? I don't know how to maintain anything. I'm not maintaining anything at all. I'm not maintaining anything and I'm not being maintained. But will you understand that, you see? How can you stay all day concentrating on the self? I cannot concentrate on anything. I'm not a concentration camp. I'm not doing anything. I'm simply here. The mind will try to figure out what is happening. How you can be so peaceful? What are you doing? Do you have a peace mantra or something? Because it cannot recognize the natural state. We are the natural state. Under the illusion that we have to do something to become something. And believing that so deeply that it becomes our striving. Becomes true. And even after saying it 100 times, 1,000 times, it slowly percolates into the being again. I used to say, if I say I love you millions of times, and you don't quite hear it. But if I say, I'm not sure if I love you, this one you will not forget at all. You say, I love you, and every time you forget. But if I say, I don't love you anymore, this one you can't forget. The tendency of the mind is like that. Its tendency is to remember what is negative, what makes it feel insecure. You go to the doctor and the doctor tell you, listen, I've looked at your medical report. I've taken x-ray. I'm sorry, you left it a bit late. Already, I'm sorry, you're going to die in a few weeks. You go to a spiritual master and he tell you, you are the eternal being. The doctor tell you you're going to die in a few weeks. You can't forget it. You can't forget it. The master tell you you are imperishable and you forget it. It shows itself that our inclination and our conditioning is more in the realm of, the materiality. In the body, we believe more in the body than we are aware of ourselves as being. Satsang is your chance. Satsang is a chance. Consciousness creates satsang as a mirror in which it can look and be reminded of its original self and to be happy again. Knowing what we are, we cannot be sad. We cannot be anxious or be in sorrow or pain or suffering. The one who is awake to the truth is not like that. You see. So that's it. Very, very nice to see everybody again. Very nice to be back in Portugal again. I've come to love this land very much, this place. But very good to be here again and to sit in this place, to continue what for myself, in my opinion, I must say, is the most important subject of exploration in the human kingdom. To find out who you are. And be supremely happy. You see. And yet, in this most gracious subject, so much fear come, so much doubt, so much resistance come. You see. If we are looking for stupid things, this fear does not come, this resistance does not come, anxiety does not come. But when you're searching for the truth, resistance comes, anxiety comes, fear and suffering come. It's worth a reflection, isn't it? Can we have somebody to play something now? Is anybody coming? Hey. Just in the meantime, while they're preparing for this, just again to say thank you to all the friends from Sahaja who comes each time to prepare the space that we can sit now together, and also those who came early because we heard the weather forecast. It's going to be raining, and to make sure that we were not sitting on the water or something like that. And also to Mahadev and Mahashri for making the space available and hold those who are staying here at Muji Sangha Bhavan, so that we can continue to have these meetings here. And it is beautiful that awakenings will continue to happen in this country. In this place it will happen. Very good, very good.
Shivaya, Shivaya, Namah. Namah. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Namah. Jaya Shiva Shankara. 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 Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Namah. Namah Shivaya. Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara.
Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara.
Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara. Bolo Shankara. Jaya Shiva 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 Shankara. Jaya Shiva
Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara.
Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva Shankara. Jaya Shiva
That's right. May all whose hearts beat for the truth come swiftly into the full recognition of the self. May each one grow in wisdom and loving kindness and compassion. And may all who meet you on the path of life be inspired by your presence, your light and openness, your joy, your silence. May this life be a life of freedom, to transcend the sorrows of this world due to ignorance of the self. So be it. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May that day come quickly when we can look upon the things that we presently perceive to be so enormous and see them in their true size, that the mind becomes a very insignificant thing in its psychological aspect. Because that's a great day when we come to see that the things that the enormous power of the mind, that the mind gained its power from ourself. It has no power of its own. Therefore, you must know that you can be without this psychological mind, but it cannot be without you. When we come to know this in an unshakable conviction about it, then we will not suffer anymore. Because only the ego can suffer. Pain can come in the body and be experienced, but only the ego, only the person can suffer. The pure self cannot suffer. So may the seeds of truth germinate and sprout in each heart and grow into mighty, mighty tree, a tree of life like that. Okay, come. You can come. You okay? That's it. That's it. This way.
There's so much fear.
Yes, fear.
Yes. But it's in my heart so strong. I want, not want.
It's okay. You can be natural. Say.
To be in the service of truth. I pledge.
Yes.
My heart.
Yes. First thing is find and be the truth, and then see if the truth needs serving. in the way that I have been pointing. It's the most simple way I know. It's the most direct way, because you have not been asked to create something so that you can say that I'm not an artist, I can't create. You're only discovering. And you can only discover what is already here. I remember as a young boy, we were told in my country, Christopher Columbus discovered Jamaica. They say like that, no? Huh? And for a while it was like a big thing the way it was sounding, because it's almost like until he discovered Jamaica, Jamaica was not. But after we reflected on it, and somebody sensible, more sensible than me at the time, said, but he discovered, but he didn't create it. Then you see, you can only discover because the truth is already here in your heart as you. Any other you is only a version, but it is not a version. And that is the joy, you see. Yeah. Everything else is secondary to that. I mean, it came after. There are effects in consciousness. But the truth is not an effect. It causes effects to be. And you who are witnessing all of these things, when you witness without identity, when you perceive without identity, you come spontaneously and intuitively to know you are the self, not in an intellectual way. Because to know and to be the self is the same thing. You see. So I combine myself with you. Don't imagine that truth is someplace at some distance. All that is mind-created stuff. The truth is distanceless. It does not have lights around it. It's not a Hollywood poster. It's you. Actually, when you say I or feel the feeling of I, it actually points to the truth. I is like the name of truth. When truth refers to itself, it says I am. But somehow in life, in the expression, through the bodies, then it takes on this secondary, distorted identity that I becomes person. And we all believe we are persons. Then you come to see that a person is a psychological construct that arises out of consciousness. Is not what you are. For a while, these things that I speak may seem like, it's just really so hard to catch hold of them in a real way inside your heart. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You're already in the right place. And any delusion will soon be over about these things. toe is okay now. Very good. Take your time. It's good, good. Yeah, it's good, good, good. Sweet, sweet. Good, good. Sweet, sweet rain, isn't it? Sweet rain. Okay, thank you. Nice, everybody. Thank you. Very good.